It's the Dogwalk Chronicles. This is, it's November. I'm talking about the saints, and something struck me. I was reading about Saint Felix of Valois. It's French, Valois, I believe. I don't know how to pronounce it. He, in 1198, got papal approval to take care of prisoners and to start a group to care for prisoners, and he would go and ransom Christians taken to slavery and sold into slavery by the Moors. The Moors, if you don't know, are Muslims, particularly living in Africa and Spain, which they took over. What was that? They also were prevalent in Malta, Maghreb, I forget how that was spelled, and Sicily. So he would go and ransom these enslaved Christians in the year 1200-ish. So, just to be clear, this was going on then, long time before the United States ever dreamt or was caught up in European slavery. So, this goes way farther back than Europe, people. Do some due diligence and historical background to this. I wanted to mention something else that about Muhammad being a prophet. Well, he couldn't be a prophet to the Jews because you have to be Jewish to be a prophet to the Jews. And he certainly wasn't a prophet to the Christians, because a true Christian who isn't living heretically, which there were a lot of heretical sects of Christianity going around in the trade route that Muhammad was influenced by. The Jews, the Christians, unfortunately not all of them were Orthodox, followed Orthodoxy. And then there was another group. So his religion, Islam, basically is an amalgam of that. And when Muhammad went, so he starts and people listen, or some of the Arabs around him listen, some don't. So he says, this is really going to work when I go to the Jews. They're going to say, yes, he is a prophet, because they're going to recognize me as a prophet, that I'm speaking, because I'm going to mention Moses and Abraham, that they'll embrace me and they'll legitimize me. Well, they didn't, needless to say. And so he attacked them and killed and enslaved that area. There was another time he tried to do it, but the Arabs there actually were befriending the Jews and wouldn't let him attack them. And then he says, okay, fine, the Jews are cursed. That's when he decided. In the beginning, the Jews and the Christians were fine, because supposedly they would agree with him, which they wouldn't, because he wasn't a legitimate prophet. And then he goes, like I say, to the Jews. That didn't work. And so now all of a sudden the Jews are demonized by Muhammad. And that's why this is the beginning, at least partially, the beginning of the hatred for the Jews, certainly by the Arabs. And they're taught this from the beginning in their book, in the Quran. Jews are called, what was it? Rats? Anyway, two things. Apes and something else. And so then when he went to this Christian area and he said, well, the Christians are going to embrace me because they can see, obviously, I'm mentioning Jesus and Mary, so I must be good. Yeah, but your idea of Jesus and Mary is so warped and so perverse that it's clearly not Christian, and it's clearly infused by heretical thinking. Unfortunately, Muhammad came into contact with Christians who were not following the pure teaching of the church. So they rejected him. He attacked them. So now the Christians also are bad. So Muhammad liked the Christians and the Jews when he thought they were going to validate him. But as soon as he found that they wouldn't, that's when all of a sudden the teachings are that they're apes, and the Christians are something else. I forget what they were, traitors, something or another. Don't quote me on that part. So, St. Felix Valois had to ransom in the 1200s Christians from the Moors, which are Muslims, slave traders in 1200, which had already been going on for roughly 550 years at that point. So asked St. Felix to pray for us, to pray for those in Israel today, to pray for all the people who are enslaved by Islam, Islamic countries in different places and situations, and pray for the people in purgatory today. They need your prayers in this month of November when we remember the saints and the All Souls. Do it.